Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. Thanks for clicking on today's video. So we're going to go through my CGC graded Silver Age and Golden Age books. Now, I love old stuff. I love Silver Age. Golden Age is just an incredible sort of, era of books to go to collect for. I wish I had more money and more time. You're almost priced out of some of these really sort of solid Golden Age books now. Same with the Silver Age keys as well. But over the years, I've sort of collected a little bit of a collection of Golden Age and Silver Age books, both raw and already graded. So we're going to go through them today, and I'll give you a little bit of history about all the books and how I got them, where I got them from, some of the prices, and just some of the information about them as well. So yes, hope you like comics. It's a little bit different from video games. So yeah, sit back, relax, have a beer, and yeah, hope you like some of my books I've got graded. All right, the first book up is probably the first big book I ever bought, which is Fantastic Four 48. Now, I bought this back in about 1994, maybe. At the time, I bought 48, 49, and 50. And this one cost me $90. And I've always kept it with me, and I sent it away. And this one came back at 3.5, as you can see there. Off-white to white pages. And as you can see on the right-hand side, it's the first appearance of the Silver Surfer and Galactus cameo on the last page. Just an absolutely iconic cover. You know, the end of the world, Galactus, the devourer of worlds, coming to pretty much take Earth, and the Silver Surfer, stepped in with the help of the Invisible Woman to sort of, to stop it from happening. But yeah, one of my favorite ever covers from back when I was young, hence why it's one of the first big purchases I ever got when I first started collecting and got my first job. So yeah, it's got this sticker here. I could have probably taken it off. As you can see, it's noted on the cover there, on the label, sorry. But it's just interesting to see why a 12-cent US cover price got a 10-cent sticker. So maybe it was on special, or maybe it was a clearance sort of sticker, I'm not sure, but I've always just kept it on there. I had a couple of other books with that sticker as well. But yeah, one of my all-time favorite books, 3.5, pretty respectable grade, at least for my budget. So that's that one, Fantastic Four 48. Now the next one is an old horror magazine back from the 1950s. Now I sort of, back in about 3 years ago, I wanted to pick up a few, old sort of horror magazines, the books at the time. This one I got off My Comic Shop. I sent this one in to be graded myself. So it come back at 2.5, so Stories to Hold You Spellbound. So this is Spellbound 27, as you can see there, by Atlas Comics. Now I tried to get a book that was presented well, had a nice little caption on the side here, as you can see, Could I Ever Escape from the Trap in the Mirage? And just a real cool cover, I thought, as well. As you can see, that one there. So 2.5, it's a low grade, but I agree, I think it presents quite well. And as you can see, just off-white pages there, so not too bad. So yeah, the 10-cent price sticker, so this is a Golden Age book. Yeah, nice cover, I like that book. Really like it, something different. All right, the next one we got is probably one of my favorite books in my collection, which is this is actually a pedigree. So this is Black Cat number 26. So this is from 1950. Now this one is quite a special book. As you can see there, it's from the Promise collection. So the Promise collection was an incredible collection of books that was unearthed a few years ago now. It was based on two brothers that went to war, and I believe the older brother passed away in the war and said to his brother before he left, if anything happens to me, please look after my funny books, as he called them. So the brother stored all these books in an attic, and yeah, they were some of the most pristine books that had ever been sort of found from an old collection, and you wouldn't think that can still happen in about 2020, I forget when it was, but if you're interested in reading about the Promise collection, I really highly recommend it. It's incredible. Just some of the books are some of the most sought after books ever to exist in collecting, and for them to be in that condition, it was just absolutely incredible. Now I wanted to get 2 a year, and I haven't only got this one. I've always seemed to be priced outbid at the last section at the last second on Heritage and on eBay, but yeah, I always keep looking. Almost every day I look for a new Promise collection book. But yeah, this is the only one I've got. So yeah, that's a nice 6 by Harvey, as you can see there. Lee Elias. Yeah, It's got a nice sort of cover art, presents well for a 6. So yeah, check out the Promise collection. It's real good, worth a read. All right, the next book is another book that I bought a few years ago. So I bought this raw, and it's Strange Tales 115. So as with the early Strange Tales run, it introduces Doctor Strange. So Doctor Strange's first appearance is 110, I believe. And yeah, so this is 115. So this one has the actual origin of Doctor Strange, as you can see here. And it's also the second appearance of Sandman. And I've always just loved this cover. Just love it. I just love the Sandman, old school. Came back a 5. It's got a bit of a swirl mark on the back, which is sort of, that's why it's got a hit in the grey. But yeah, nice white pages, presents really well. Nice colours, as you can see. Yeah, really beautiful book. So I'm happy with that one. I think if I can show you the swirl. Oh yeah, that's right, it's not a swirl. It's a bit of a, yeah, you can see that mark down there. Okay, the next book is another sort of iconic classic cover from back in the Silver Age, which is Tales of Suspense 59. So this is the sort of, as you can see here, it's an Iron Man Captain America double feature. First solo Captain America story since the 1950s. So I've always loved this cover. You know, Jack Kirby, Iron Man, Captain America. Yeah, I bought this off my comic shop as well. I think I paid, maybe like 80 or 90 US dollars for it, I forget. And I sent this one to be graded, and it pretty much come back right on where I thought it would be. A nice 5, off-white to white pages. Again, just trying to buy comics and old books that present well, nice colour, and just really, yeah, really nice eye appeal. And I love that old Tales of Suspense run. You know, obviously it's got the first appearance of Iron Man in that as well. So that's that one, Tales of Suspense 59. Now the next book continues on from that first book, Fantastic 448. So this is Fantastic 449. So again, you know, just an absolutely crazy cover. I love it. Just Galactus, you know, just coming in if this be Doomsday. Beautiful colours. Again, you can see it's got the sticker on the left there. But this one also come back off white to white, 4.5, which is a really nice grade. And you can sort of see their first full appearance of Galactus, second appearance of the Silver Surfer. Yeah, so, and it's a Silver Surfer Galactus cover. Again, Jack Kirby just totally just destroying it all back in those days. That color is just amazing. Just, you know, you can see why he's called the King. So that's Fantastic 449. I paid $50 for that one as part of that sort of first big purchase I ever bought. And this is a real funny one that I bought. I bought this in an auction. I got it for like $20 to $25. It was incomplete, and I just thought, you know what, I just bought it. And I was the only beer, and I got it. And I thought I'd send it to CGC just for a bit of a joke. And anyway, it came back. I call this one the Full House of F-Ups, because it's pretty much got everything you could under the sun in their restoration. It's got, you know, small colour touch. It's a piece out of the cover. All 3 edges trimmed, incomplete. Come back at 1.5 off white to white pages. But you know what? It's the first appearance of Craven, sweet. The first mention of Mary Jane as well. And the second appearance of Chameleon. So it's a big book. Early SpiderMan book as well. And you know, it's just a great cover. Introducing Craven. You know, it might have all those things, but for me, it's just a bit, you know, it's just part of my collection. I just do things that I want to do. And this was just another one. So yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 15. This is 1964. But yeah, nice white, off-white to white pages. Yeah, and it sort of presents pretty well. All right, the next book is another Golden Age book, I believe. I checked the date out. Yeah, this one's from, so this is, a few years ago, I was into sort of like Good Girl sort of book. So this one's Katie Keene Fashion Book #1, Fashion Book Magazine #1. And as you can see, this is a lowly grade of a 1.0. I think I paid 120 to 130 Australian dollars for this one to be delivered, which I didn't think was too bad. I think it still presents pretty well for a 1.0. You know, just a really cool cover. Old Archie comics, you know, yeah. You can see there's not much on there about it, but Bill Wogan cover and art. Yeah, so that's why I bought that. And I just love having low grade books. I don't know, there's just something about old, you know, beat up things that sort of have always appealed to me. And I think this one looks amazing in that case. So yeah, this is Katie Keene, Fashion Book Magazine #1. All right, and the next book we got is another, probably one of my other bigger purchases when I was young. Not young, sorry, about say 8 years ago. I wanted to start buying some of the early Incredible Hulk run. There's obviously the first run was 1 to 6, and I picked this one up as a PGX 4.5. I think I paid like 900 Australian dollars, and I cracked it out of the case and I sent it to CGC, sent it to their pressing service CCS, and it come back at 2.5. So yeah, I probably put a little bit too much money into what's this worth, but to me, having an issue from that early Hulk run is, you know, pretty key. Everybody would love to have that as a collection. Like number 1's pretty much out of control, but you know, maybe even 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, and as you can see there, 2.5 clean off-white pages. You know, Origin of the Hulk retold, 1962, so a really early Silver Age book. And I think even at a 2.5, I think it probably, you know, presents quite well, if you ask me. So yeah, maybe it's all the tanning on the book. Perhaps I have to check the grading, but yeah, that's that one. So that's Incredible Hulk number 4. Beautiful to have an early Hulk book, one of my favorite characters. The next book is another good girl art book from the 19. This one's actually was one of my earliest books. This one's Patsy Walker number 13. I actually bought this one already graded from Mile High Comics. I just absolutely love the cover. It was graded a 4, and as you can see here, it's off-white to white pages from Timely back in 1947. It's a real early book, and to grade at that sort of high grade, at least in my own opinion, for my style of collecting, is really good. And off-white to white pages, and an absolutely gorgeous cover. Just, you know, Patsy Walker there out in the sun. She's fine, you know, and the guy trying to impress had probably got burnt that day. Beautiful white cover, beautiful colours. You know, this is Al Jaffrey cover and art, and I've always just loved that book. And it just, yeah, it's just so simple, and that's what some of those early Patsy Walker books for me. I'd love to get Patsy Walker 1. I think she's on the roller skates. I think it might be way out of my price range, but for me, just to have one issue of Patsy Walker and this one here, an early book, 1947, Timely Comics. You know, yeah, it looks beautiful. All right, the next book is this one's actually quite a high grade. So this is an early Avengers book. So this is Avengers 11. So I bought this one in an auction. I think I paid like 430 Australian dollars. And I got it in one of the second generation cases. I sent it into re-case. So it's in a brand new case now. You know, grades really solidly at an 8.0, off-white to white pages. As you can see there, early Spider-Man appearance. I think this might be the second appearance of Kang, I'm not sure. But yeah, and it's just a beautiful cover. As you can see, it's just beautiful colors. Presents really well. On the spine there, you can sort of see there's pretty much no ticks at all. Maybe there's a little bit of tanning that sort of brings it down, as you can see on the sort of the side here, if it's visible. But yeah, beautiful cover. I just love the Avengers, obviously, and love Spider-Man ever since I was young. So beautiful book at an 8.0. That's Avengers number 11 from 1964. And the next book is an early horror magazine, horror book here as well. Back with the other Spellbound, I wanted to try to find a few issues of like Marvel Tales, Strange Tales, things like that. Try to find something with a good cover that was affordable, you know, good colours, good grade. And this one here, I bought this one from my comic shop as well. I bought this raw, sent it in myself to get graded. So this is from 1954 from Atlas Comics. And it's, as you can see there, nice off-white pages. Marvel Tales 129. Beautiful green, beautiful yellow. You know, and as I said, it's got that little bit of a caption there. As you can read it, I don't need to read it to you. And it just, yeah, it's just a really intriguing, really cool horror book. And I just, you know, horror stuff, as I probably said in the introduction, is just out of control at the moment. Everybody's fully into horror. And yeah, you can see why. It's just really cool. Awesome. So that's Marvel Tales. Nice grade, 4.5. And off the back of that one was one of the original reasons I wanted to get some of these books. My aim was to get the earliest Strange Tales that I could get. I got this off my comic shop as well. I think I paid between $200 to $300 US, I forget. It came back a really nice grade, and as you can see here, this one's from 1951, Atlas Comics, off-white to white pages, Strange Tales number 3. You know, like, unbelievable when you think how far Strange Tales went back into the superhero titles with Doctor Strange, and then back to this horror stuff here. And as you can see, there's an atom bomb panel there. And it's just really interesting. It's just an interesting. I don't think that, you know, the most fantastic stories ever told. Just early Atlas horror, early Strange Tales. You know what I mean? Green cover. Come back at 3.5, as you can see there, off white to white pages. I don't know if I already said that, but yeah, really nice book. I'm really happy to have that one in my collection. You know, not many people know much about these early Strange Tale books, including me. So to have one, yeah, and I did send this in to get graded myself too, just so you know. So yeah, beautiful Strange Tales #3 from 1951. All right, the next one, I also got this one off my comic shop. I used to look on my comic shop a lot. They've got a lot of really nice books to sort of, you know, to dig through. I bought this one raw. I wanted a really early Avengers book. Not really early, but I wanted an early Avengers book that sort of, you know, showcased the team on the cover. Around about a mid-grade, and as you can see, this one come back a 5. So again, I sent this off to get graded. And I got the custom label on this one, just because all the books I graded at that one time, I could get custom labels. Over here in Australia, like if you want to get custom labels and there's other ones that don't, they all get sent shipped differently. You've got to pay extra shipping. So in this case, I got Thor. Yeah, look at that. Again, it's another off-white to white pages, 5, Avengers 12 from 1965. And as you can see, it's got Wasp, Ant-Man, or it should be Giant Man, sorry. Yeah, Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, and behind him is the old Mole Man there, which was probably in the first Fantastic Four book I ever got. I think it was 329. But yeah, really nice cover. Looks and presents well. As you can see, beautiful colours. Yeah, I think that, you know, it's probably not too valuable, but to me, it's just a really nice book to have. So that's Avengers 12 from 1965. And the next book is this is actually a really interesting book. I got this years ago. It just sort of popped up on eBay. When I was, this one cost me like 160 or 180 Australian dollars. So this is Daring Adventures #9. Now this one is the highest on the census, graded at an 8.5. Now this is a cover homage. I think it's Eerie 13, I think. But the cool thing about this is that it was part of the Mile High 2 collection. So as you can see, Daring 9 there. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So as you can sort of see there, Mile High this is another really interesting read if you want to read about books. So it was a find in New York of you can see there 1.7 million comics. And yeah, they only sort of basically gave this certificate to some of the highest graded books. So I've always had this. This is in the first gen case, which I feel as I just need to keep it in that case just to sort of, you know, just for, not historical, but just for sort of just to have it in that case. I think I always sort of thought maybe I could crack it out, press it, maybe get a higher grade, but you know what, who cares? So yeah, as you can see, it's an old horror book, IW Enterprises. There's probably reprints in there. As I said, I don't know too much about it. I wouldn't mind buying an old raw copy just to sort of have a look through it, but yeah. So that's Daring Adventures #9. So this one's from 1963. And the next book is the oldest comic book that I have in my collection. So this is Sensation Comics 42. So it was always sort of on my list to get an early sensation, an early detective, and an early action comic. So been able to collecting a little bit lately, just because I've obviously been into video games and stuff. But yeah, this one I paid like $500 for this. Got this one graded myself, and it come back at a nice grade at a 4.0. I was very surprised. I expected it around about a 2.5. So to get a 4, you can sort of see there slightly brutal pages, and it was. You know, when I was going through it, checking the pages, I was like, oh, please don't anything get separated. But again, it's nice to have Wonder Woman on the cover, nice colours. And again, this one's a really, really old Golden Age book from 1945. So yeah, incredible book. So I'm really happy to have that part of my collection. And I got that one graded myself as well. So yeah, that's Sensation 42. Yeah, it's good to have a nice old Wonder Woman book in your collection. Okay, and the next book is another Fantastic Four book. Another sort of really sweet cover. So this one's Fantastic Four 55, and just a classic Silver Surfer thin cover, beautiful dark blue, purpley sort of colours. I got the Fantastic Four label there, but you can't see a thing behind the hologram, which sucks a bit. But again, it's a really nice grade, a 6 off white to white page. I think that's pretty much what I got graded it for. I got this in an auction for about, I think it was like $150 maybe. Gave it a nice press, and yeah, there you go. It come back a yeah, come back as 6, which is a nice sort of grade for that. All these, they're just mid-grade books. They're not rare, but they just really, they look awesome. They present well. You know, classic sort of Jack Kirby as classic cover. So yeah, that's fantastic. $4.55. That's from 1966. Okay, and then one of the books that really sort of I always loved when I was young was Invincible Iron Man #1. So I always thought that this was like the first appearance as Iron Man, not really knowing that, you know, Tales of Suspense 39 was the first appearance of Iron Man. So just always loved this cover. I picked this up a long time ago. It was in a cracked first gen case, so I sent it in to get to rehold it. So, and there it is there, 4.5. A nice sort of, you know, solid title. It's one of those books that you can always sell this one, and I never will. The funny thing with this issue, I don't know if some of these staples are sort of put in wrong, or it's been stapled sort of extra. Usually CGC would sort of note some of that, so maybe because it was graded in that first sort of gen thing, they might have not done that sort of thing back then, so I'm not sure. So I'd be a little bit hesitant to wonder sort of if that's a normal thing for these books. And like I said, if I can just see, where is it over here? Yeah, there's the staple there. And again, there's the staple sort of there. I'm not sure if that's right. I'll have to look on the side. But anyway, so yeah, that's Invincible Iron Man #1. Just, you know, one of the most iconic covers, and just my favourite character, even from like with Robert Downey Jr. playing Iron Man and just the Avengers, you know, Infinity War and then Endgame, and just how it all ended, just even solidified how awesome Iron Man is. And yeah, just that's a great cover. So there it is, the big premiere issue there. And the final book isn't a comic, it is a magazine. So again, this is one of my favourite books in my collection. I paid a little bit of money for this during the pandemic, and that's Vampirella #1. So I bought this raw. I think I paid $1,400 for it, and I sent it in to get graded by CGC, and it came back as 7. Again, just like that Iron Man before, it's one of those books that you'll never have trouble selling. You know what I mean? Everybody wants this book. It's hot. First appearance of Vampirella, Frank Frazetta cover, you know, early horror, or not early horror, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Just, it'll always be one of the most sought after sort of horror magazines, and characters. She's still so popular today. Frazetta will always be one of the greatest of all times in sort of, you know, in art, comic art, anything science fiction, horror, anything like that. So yeah, I love that book. And as you can sort of see up there, from Warren Publishing, 1969. I think this is still considered Silver Age. So yeah, origin and first appearance of Vampirella, and they got Frank Frazetta frontispiece, which is, you know, incredible. All right, well, that's my little small but little sort of collection of Silver Age and Golden Age books. I wish I could buy more. Maybe this will give me a little bit of a incentive to go and buy something else. All right, we're going to turn the camera around. We'll finish off the video. Thanks for watching this part. Hope you like that. I haven't looked at those books for a long time, so it was really a bit of a trip down memory lane for me too. And I sort of forget some of the books. I'm like, oh, that's right. Oh, that's sick. Oh man, I love that cover. So yeah, thanks for clicking on today's video again. Yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Just, you know, I'm on a big road trip next week. I'm on holidays at the moment. Yippee! So we're going on an 8-day trip around New South Wales. We're going to hit some regional centres. We're going to hit Sydney. We're going to hit Newcastle. So I'm going to see what I can find, whether it's comics, video games, collectibles, action figures. I'm just really excited. So been saving money for a little while. So yeah, a little bit to spend. So hopefully we can do a few videos. I'm staying at a zoo, which is going to be really incredible at the Western Plains Zoo. So anyway, until next time, thanks very much, and have a good week, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.